Happy Halloween, gang! Well, it is time once again to tell you guys a scary story from my past. And I want first of all, I want to apologize for not having a video up yesterday. Trying to put together this yard sale as it took a lot of time out from yesterday to do anything. Um, but yeah, there's been a lot of stuff to put up. Hopefully this yard sale will go over really, really well until Tuesday. And of course, I'm trying to keep track of all the wacky, crazy, nutty stuff that seems to happen uh, during this time. And so, sometime around next week, I should have a yard sale wrap up story for you guys. But let's get on to this year's scary story. And last year's was I don't know if you want to call it dark or anything like that. But this year's, I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it ends pretty badly. So this was about around, I want to say late 2000s. This was years ago. I'm staying in Fort Smith with my buddy Steve and his second wife Sierra and Reno in this duplex house. And I would have tried to record this video in front of a duplex house, but unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to do it this week. It's been super busy. The weather's been crazy and everything like that. So I thought, well, this is going to be done on Halloween. Why not just get one of these plastic jack-o'-lantern buckets and do the video? So anyway, so what happened was that Steve and Sierra were in their room. Reno was in the room he was staying in. And I'm sitting in the front room, nothing to do, nobody to talk to. I am bored out of my skull. And this was on a Saturday night because I was coming back to Boonville the next day. And then there's a knock at the door, and I'm going like, okay. So I'm looking around, going like, anybody else gonna answer it? No, all right, I'll go answer it. And there's a woman standing on the front porch, and she asked for Steve. I'm like, all right, let me go get him. And so I tell Steve there's a woman at the door, and he goes, who is it? I go, I don't know. Because I'm thinking it's one of his neighbors. So I'm like, I don't know, some woman wants to talk to you. He goes, okay. He goes out there, and the last thing I hear him say is, hey, and I'm like, he closes the door. So Reno pops up. He goes, who's Steve? What's going on? It said, Steve's talking to some woman. He looks out the door, and he goes, I don't know who that is. And then Sierra comes up, asks the same question. She said, what's going on? I said, Steve's talking to some woman. She looks out the door, and she goes, oh, that's Steve's first ex-wife. And I went, oh, crap. So yeah, Steve's ex-wife, the mother of his one of his oldest daughters, Verena, shows up, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh crap!" And I'm ready for Steve to just chew me up like an old toy, like a dog does to an old toy, and I'm like, "Oh boy, I'm ready for this." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm just sitting there ready for Steve to just say, hey man, that wasn't cool, da da da. But again, I'm thinking like, I don't know who these people are, And I was gonna tell him like, dude, I thought I was your neighbor, but after a while, he comes back in, and so I'm like, hey man, and he goes like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, like you're not mad? He goes, nah, she just wanted to catch up and talk and ask how Verena was. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, all right, and I said, so should I just tell her you're gone or something next time she comes around? He goes, no, don't worry about it, man, don't worry about it. I said, okay. So then the next day comes around. She shows up again. I said, Steve, she's back. They go out, have a brief conversation, everything like that. And, Steve wasn't upset about anything like that. So yeah, she seemed very, very nice. Seemed being the key word here. So, yeah. So, Steve never really seemed to have too many bad things to say about her. So I'm like, okay, well, she seems like a pretty cool person, everything like that. And then a few years later, when I'm living with my buddy Tyler and his parents, his dad comes in one day and asks me about Steve, and I said, well, what about him? And he's holding a newspaper, and I said, what about Steve? Because I'm thinking like, did something happen? He's in the hospital. I don't know why they would want to put it in the Fort Smith paper or anything like that. Steve Price in the hospital. I was like, well, he's not a celebrity. Nobody knows who he is. And he says, well, you might want to look at this. And I look at it, and there's an article about his ex-wife in the newspaper where apparently she stabbed her boyfriend multiple times and killed him. And my first reaction was, she seemed so nice. you know? I'm shocked by this, and I get a hold of Steve, and I asked him if he read about it, and he goes, yeah, he goes, man, he says, I kind of knew there was something a little wrong with her, and I'm going, now you tell me, because I was like, dude, you just. So apparently she's been in prison for several years. They are supposed to let her out, everything like that. I don't know, gang. She claims it was self-defense, but Steve says, well, she's always had, some mental problems and everything like that. So, yeah. So, have you ever heard of that movie, So I Married an Axe Murderer? I guess you could say this story could call So I Once Met a Serial Killer. Or something like that. Anyway, gang, I'm gonna get on out of here. Hope you guys had an awesome Halloween. Unfortunately, I don't have any money to go out there and buy candy for the kids, but then again, I'd probably eat it up myself, especially if there were little whatchamacallits in the bag. So, thanks for watching, everybody. God bless you all. Hope you had an awesome Halloween, and hope you enjoyed the video. And if you like my videos, please feel free to subscribe. And let's keep trying to help people out there who really, really need it right now. Let's stop trying to destroy the world, and let's keep praying this virus nightmare is going to end very, 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 very soon. So take care of yourselves. Try to be good. Try to be good yourself. Try to be good to others. Till we do this again, as always, stay strong, rock on, and happy Halloween.